Empires fall when succession fails. The Persian Empire survived, not because of conquest, but because of continuity. When power changes hands, the question is never only who wins, but who is accepted. That question passed again and again through the life of one woman. Her name was Atossa. She was born into power, survived its collapse, and lived long enough to decide who would inherit it. She never ruled in her own name, but for decades, the empire's future moved through her presence. Because in Persia, continuity mattered more than conquest. This is the story of Atossa, and how succession, not war, preserved an empire. Atossa was born into the Achaemenid Persian Empire, the largest empire the world had yet seen. It stretched from the Indus Valley to the Aegean Sea, governing many peoples, languages, and religions. This empire ruled through administration as much as force, through laws, roads, records, appointed governors, and a system that valued order over spectacle. At its center stood Cyrus the Great, Atossa's father. Cyrus was not only a conqueror, he was a founder. He built an empire that depended on legitimacy and order, a ruler who understood that stability required recognition, not fear. And Atossa was raised inside that system, observing how power was justified, stabilized, and preserved. From birth, she was not destined to rule, but she was destined to matter. And Atossa learned early that power was not only taken, it had to be recognized. When Cyrus died, the empire did not settle into peace. For the first time since its founding, the future of Persia was uncertain, not because of invasion, but because of succession. His son, Cambyses II, inherited the throne and expanded the empire, including the conquest of Egypt. But his reign was harsh and unstable. He ruled through fear. He spent long periods away from the court, and he died suddenly, far from the capital. His death left no uncontested successor. This was the danger Cyrus had worked to prevent, a transfer of power without clarity. Soon after, a man claiming to be Bardia, another son of Cyrus, took the throne. Some accepted him, others doubted him. Later sources would call him an impostor, Gaumata, but in that moment, certainty mattered less than division. Rebellion spread across the empire. Authority fractured. For Atossa, this was not an abstract crisis of governance. For Atossa, this was not distant politics. This was the unraveling of the world she had been raised to understand. It was during this instability that Darius emerged. Darius was not Cyrus's son. He was a member of the royal house, a military leader, and a court insider. He overthrew Bardia and seized the throne. But Atossa would have recognized immediately what conquest could not solve. Force could take power. It could not secure acceptance. And without acceptance, the empire would fracture, as it already had once before. The Persian Empire depended on continuity, and Darius needed a connection to the past the empire trusted. Atossa understood that problem because she embodied its solution. As Cyrus's daughter, she carried a legitimacy no proclamation or victory could replace. Atossa did not face this moment from safety. Her father was dead, her brother was dead. The throne had changed hands violently, and in moments like this, visibility was dangerous. And loyalty across the court was being renegotiated. As the daughter of Cyrus, she was visible. Every claim to power now turned on a single question: who carries Cyrus's legacy forward? Darius understood legitimacy could not be declared. It had to be recognized. Atossa represented continuity no proclamation could manufacture. Without her, Darius's rule would remain a seizure of power, not a succession. For her, alignment was not ambition. It was survival, and a decision about what kind of Persia would endure. By marrying Darius, Atossa did not disappear into his reign. She made it intelligible to the empire. This was the moment where continuity was chosen, not imposed. This was not a passive role. It was a calculated act of preservation, binding a fragile present to a trusted past. What followed was not symbolism alone. It was structural. Through Atossa, Darius became acceptable to the empire, daughter of Cyrus, bearer of the founding bloodline. Royal imagery, inscriptions, and court narratives reinforced this connection. Darius did not rule instead of Cyrus's line. He ruled through it. Atossa was not decorative. She was evidence. Her presence transformed a contested seizure of power into a recognized reign. Contemporary sources suggest her influence extended beyond symbolism. She maintained her own court and administration, oversaw palace affairs, and participated in decisions that shaped appointments and policy. Greek historians would later describe her as a trusted advisor, a woman whose counsel was sought, not ignored. Atossa bore several sons. Persian succession was never automatic. It depended on lineage, timing, and political recognition. Darius had sons older than Xerxes, born before his reign, and 2 other wives. Xerxes was different. He was born after Darius became king, and his mother was Atossa, daughter of Cyrus. Atossa had already lived through one succession collapse. She understood the cost of ambiguity. Supporting Xerxes was not preference, it was prevention. She chose the clearest line forward, one that preserved continuity without reopening old fractures. When Darius died, Xerxes inherited the throne. Atossa did not govern his reign, but her presence anchored it in the living memory of Cyrus. Once again, stability passed through her judgment. Later generations learned of Atossa largely through Greek writers. Their portrayals are uneasy, sometimes admiring, often suspicious. That discomfort is revealing. Atossa appears in Aeschylus' The Persians, the oldest surviving play in Western history, not as a footnote, but as a central voice of memory and mourning. A Persian woman remembered on a Greek stage decades later, because her significance could not be erased. Even outside her empire, her presence endured. Atossa did not issue laws. She did not lead armies. She ensured that power survived transition. She bridged founder and successor, conquest and legitimacy, collapse and continuity. Her influence reached into culture and belief as well. Later traditions associate her with the patronage of Persian religion and with shaping the empire's intellectual legacy. Even in illness, remembered as the first recorded woman diagnosed with a serious breast tumor, she exercised agency, choosing treatment on her own terms. Her life shows us a form of power history rarely names: power exercised through endurance. Empires do not only fall by defeat, they fall when succession fails. Atossa understood that. She did not stand on the battlefield. She stood at the threshold of history, where one reign ends and another must be accepted. This was Atossa, and this was the power she carried.